Hello everybody and welcome to our studio show here. It's round 17, the penultimate round of MXGP. We're in Mexico at the MX Grand Prix of Leon. And with Adam Wheeler and myself today are Harry Kullas and the world champion in MXGP, Romain Febvre. But before we meet Harry, Adam, it's the title in MXGP is already done and dusted, but all eyes once again on MX2. Just like it was 12 months ago. There's still a title to be decided.
Yeah, that's right. We came to Leon last year, Paul, first Grand Prix at this facility, and you know what a story it was 12 months ago. And now I think it's 16 points dividing, Tim Geiser and Paul Jonas. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that's going to lead on till next week in the season closer in California.
All right. Well, like I say, before we meet Harry, let's see what happened in Asen a couple of weeks ago. Here's some highlights from MX2 Race 2.
Coming into the second race, crunch time between Jonas and Geiser. Max Anstey's 9th place in race 1 sees him almost 50 points down on the two leaders. Effectively, his championship is over, but it's still mathematically possible. But Geiser needed a good jump, so too did Jonas. They charged down into turn 1. Harry Kullas was the first to go down. And then Paul Jonas lost the front end in front of Max Anstey. And the Red Bull KTM rider, the championship leader, surfed his way off the side of his bike and down at turn 1. Geiser clipped the handlebar as he went through. And as Jonas picked up his bike, the front brake was hanging off the side of it. But it was once again Davy Poches who took the lead as Jonas rejoined the race. Carnage at turn 3. And there you see the damage on the Red Bull KTM of Jonas, who came in at the end of the first lap. The team disconnected the brake hose and the caliper, and he rejoined the race a lap down as his young teammate once again led for the first few laps. Wasn't long though before Max Anstey, number 99, found his way through into the lead as Jonas looked to unlap himself. But then it all went wrong for the second of the Red Bull KTM riders. Poches out of the race as Geiser once again sided his way through the field, passing Brent Van Donnick to get himself up into 4th. He then went after Jeremy Seewer. And before long, Geiser was up into 2nd place. Jonas still charging hard through the pack. It was Anstey, though, who took the checkered flag. Geiser was 2nd, Seewer 3rd. Jonas came home in 13th place. And it wasn't just about the Grand Prix victory for Tim Geiser. It was all about the red plate, which he'd already taken from the front of the Red Bull KTM.
Well, here we are back again in our studio then. We're trackside, as you can see, practice going on for some of the local riders here. But Harry Kullas, Wolverhampton, Husqvarna Factory Racing joins us now. He's not been on for a while, actually. But Harry, it's been a strange couple of years for you, but you're back in MXGP this time, though, in MX2, of course, and on a factory team as well. How's it feel?
It feels amazing, It was nice to do. It was first year when I didn't plan to do GPs, and I still had the plan to do 1-2, and it was nice to be in the GP paddock at Valkenswaard, and also in Great Britain. And then I really wanted to come back, and after middle of the season, I got a call from Husqvarna Factory Racing, and here I am.
And you seem to have taken the opportunity with both hands. Is that how it feels for you?
Yeah, for sure. It's factory team, and everything runs really perfectly, and I'm really happy there. And so for sure I took with 2 hands and tried to do my best. And the first race was quite success, and it was like dream come true, actually, like in Latvia.
Well, we'll talk about that in just a moment, but the 4 races that you just mentioned, motos from Valkenswaard and Matterley Basin, 15th, 16th, 17th and a 0. And then you arrive in Latvia, 3rd overall in the Grand Prix. You must have not expected that any more than any of us.
No, I didn't expect, but I knew that with everything, if it runs perfectly, I can do quite well. And it's been like past few years. It's been not that great, and but when I've got good start, I've been in front. So I've struggled with starts and not that to come through, with the back. And but with this bike and team, I was able to make good starts, and I enjoyed riding. Everything just suited me, and of course the Latvia track was amazing, and yeah, everything just fell in part, and just podium overall. That was like I said, dream come true.
Harry, Paul said that it's been a strange couple of years for you, but it's actually been pretty tough, hasn't it? I mean, since like the knee injury when you were riding for Suzuki, I don't know, you must have. There's been some adversity there for you, some difficult times mentally, hasn't there? Trying to come back to the level where you were, initially when you came into MX2.
Yeah, like it all started like 2011 actually, when I was second with Garibaldi. I had my wrist injury. I got landed on, so I was just on the two bikes and broke my wrist. So that was big fall. And the year after, middle of season, I had knee injury, and I was half season out, and I didn't get to show myself, and it was hard to get some deals, and after that it started to go down actually, and then just had some good racers here and there, but it wasn't like any more consistent how I used to be, and I think that got in my head actually, and after 1 year bad year actually in 2013, then tried to come back, and it didn't come anymore like as it used to be, like top 10s or every weekend. And but yeah, in the end of last year, I start to go to also the mental coach, try to have some help, and I think that also helped me a lot. And also I figure out something on me, on the training wise, and also in my head and everything. So I think I figured out what was wrong, and I just try to go forward now.
Obviously, we were talking about that podium a moment ago, but Belgium, you got a 4th and a 5th. You've also got a qualifying race win in Asen. You look pretty comfortable being at the front end of the field.
Yeah, in the sand, yes. I mean, I love sand. Like I've been, I'm based in Lommel like 6.5 years now. Yeah. So it's I've been a lot in the sand, So I like to ride sand, and from Scandinavia people. We ride a lot sand, so in sand it's pretty good, and with all the team helping me around, and also in the practice we really like focus on small things, and just try to take everything 100%, and I think also I know how to come to races and just relax and enjoy, and I think just everything falls now apart, or in pieces, and it's good now, so I just enjoy the riding, so that's the main thing. I think hardpack will be more difficult for me, but still I do my thing and try to make the best of it and try to still ride in the front.
And what about next week? Obviously we go to Glen Helen. The last time we were there in 2011, you took a top 5 result. Are you looking forward to going back?
And also a bridge fell on your head.
That was
the year before.
The year before.
Yeah. But are you looking forward to going back to Glen Helen?
Yeah, I mean, 2 years when we had the GP there, 2010 and 11 was really good for me. I had good speed, and I like the track. It's a long track, so it's pretty nice. So I'm really looking forward to go there, and I like when it's long laps. Like we have also here quite long, but especially Glen Helen is close to 2-3 minutes. So. Yeah, it was my first best result actually till this year.
Yeah, 4th.
I was 4th in first race, but so yeah, we'll see what happens there.
I forgot it rained actually that day.
Yeah,
but,
it was pretty torrential, wasn't it?
Obviously, the week after that, we go to France for the Motocross Nations, riding for Estonia. It's a tough schedule, isn't it? But you're looking forward to that again?
Yeah, for sure. Like it's nice to be racing, and I like to be in the paddock and. To race every weekend actually, so it will be difficult with the time difference, but many guys are here also and will ride in France, so we just have to make the best of it and to make 100%.
Last question, Harry. I mean, you're 23, so you have to move up to MXGP next year. How do you feel about that? Are you a good big bike rider? Are you feeling confident for the new challenge?
Yeah, I've been maybe 2 years. I've been on 450s and 350s a lot, you know, and so I think the big bike suits me quite well. And many guys already said like 3 or 4 years ago I should go a big bike then. So I'm really looking forward to that. And but first we need to finish this season strong. So I'm focusing these last 2 GPs, and then yeah, then we move to 450, and we'll see what next year brings. Hopefully I can still get the deal for MXGP.
All right, Harry Kullas, thanks for joining us. We're out of time, and you're almost out of time as well. You need to go get ready for time training. But
Thanks.
Harry Kullas, Wolverhampton, Husqvarna Factory Racing. Right, our world champion is just waiting to come into our studio show. But before we meet him, here's what he did in Asen 2 weeks ago.
Romain Febvre, Sean Simpson, Gauthier Paulin, the 3 main riders in moto number 1, but coming into race 2, a lot was at stake. The MXGP world title. As it stood before the gate drop, Gauthier Paulin needed to beat Romain Febvre. Romain Febvre needed to finish 2 places clear of Gauthier Paulin. Davide Guarnieri went down. Romain Febvre was well placed in 3rd as Paulin was buried mid-pack. His teammate, though, Bobashev, was leading the charge once again. Dean Ferris made a great start, but ran off track. That dropped him down to 4th as he tried to find a way past Boutron. Febvre did go through into 2nd with that pass on Boutron, but then Dean Ferris got it wrong at the same time as Romain Febvre passed Boutron to go into 2nd. The Australian getting it wrong coming out of that right-hand turn. Gauthier Paulin knew he had to pull out all of the stops if he was to take the title chase to the penultimate round. Bobashev rode his luck a little at times, and all the while Romain Febvre was closing in on the 777 as his team looked on anxiously. Eventually, though, at the halfway point in the race, Febvre put that pass on Bobashev to take the lead. Sean Simpson was in 3rd, being chased by Koldenhoff, who found his way through. Bobashev then also went missing, eventually coming home in 5th place. But as it stood, with Romain Febvre leading the way, not even this pass on his teammate would be enough for Gauthier Paulin, because that left him in 4th place behind Koldenhoff and Simpson. But Romain Febvre kept his head down. He took the checkered flag, and it was he who was crowned world champion in MXGP in 2015.
Our next guest is here, the 2015 MXGP World Champion, Romain Febvre, Monster Energy Yamaha Factory Racing Yamalube. Congratulations again. Good to have you back in our studio. The last time I think was Argentina. Just watching those images back, have you got used to the idea yet? How does it feel? How's this last 2 weeks been for you?
Yeah, it feels good. You know, it was my dream since I was young, and yeah, now it's real. So yeah, cannot be happier than that. And the last few weeks was really busy with the phone, with the media, but yeah, it's the job. Yeah.
Adam, you were going to go straight in, I think.
No.
For once not.
Apologise on behalf of the media, Romain. But one of the cool things was winning the championship in the sand, you know, because I think your worst GP this year was in Valkenswaard. You finished 8th overall, something like that, you know?
Yeah. The first moto I crashed, I had a really bad crash, and I came back 10, and the second 5, so yeah, maybe 8 overall, yeah.
Because some people were saying, Febvre in the sand, you know, we don't know about him on the 450, we don't know what's possible, and you not only you beat Paulin, but you win the moto, you win the championship, so it's a nice story.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody was waiting me in the sand, what I can do, I knew that already with the 250 I was pretty good, not the best, but pretty good. And the 450, all year it's been amazing. So yeah, I felt like I could do it. Lommel, I finished third. Yeah, just I make some mistakes, so I knew that I had the speed in the sand. Just with some good start, I can, yeah, I show up in Asen and I could win some moto and finish second overall.
Obviously, it was a very crazy weekend as well. I guess lots of Yamaha people there. But you managed to maintain your focus the whole time. To watch you walking around, it didn't look like you were just about to go out and race for your first World Championship title.
Yeah, just yeah, it's really crazy because before I can feel the pressure, like the last few years, I had some problem to battle with that pressure, and this year it's been just easy. I didn't feel any pressure from the team, from the result, from anyone. So just before Asen, I was still yeah, really comfortable on the bike and everything, and just it's even now it's difficult to realize that I'm world champion. So maybe during the winter and when I will take some time off, it will be even better for me to realize.
I think a lot of people look at the championship, Romain, like they're using the word surprise. You know, people didn't talk about you during pre-season for being a championship contender. But, you know, from speaking to you throughout the year, I know how hard you've worked. I mean, you've been testing over and over and over with the team. I mean, I think it was before Sweden when you made some tests for the starts, and then suddenly you were like, you know, in around the first corner in the top 2 or 3 every time. So that's been important, isn't it? That working relationship with Yamaha.
Yeah, for sure. They did a great job already this winter, and this winter I had 2 bad injuries, so I could not try and test and ride so much. So we did the process during the season before when we had some time between the races. So just every time I went to Italia to do some tests, every time the bike was better, and that was yeah, for the focus, for the confidence, and for the result, it was every time better. I went out on the track, so it's been great. And till now, last week I went again in Italia to improve the start again, because yeah, it's like everybody know, it's really important. So yeah, we will see the last 2 rounds how it's going.
It's interesting how you mentioned confidence, because I did an interview with Sean Simpson about you yesterday, and he was racing you in Qatar for the first round, and then also two weeks ago in Asen, you know, just when you won the championship, and he said that he saw a difference in your riding, and he said he put it down to confidence. Like when you were racing in Qatar, first GP, nerves, you know, but then like in Asen you were passing people like you were already the champion, you know, that confidence surge from the beginning to the end was big.
Yeah, for sure, the confidence, it's the big parts of your result and everything. So just yeah, I had the chance that every GP it was the result came so fast, and just I grow up, and the confidence when it's so easy. Like I knew in Qatar I wasn't ready before the GP. I could ride few times, so it was not that good. And for sure I knew that I need to take it easy the first few rounds. And just after the results are coming, yeah, I had not so many crash, and yeah, everything is coming together, and it's much easier.
Well, it seemed like it all started with the first podium in Spain. And then the race win in Matterley, and then the GP win in France at home. It was, you know, just looking at it from the outside, apart from the 4-3 result that you got in Thailand where you didn't make a podium, you know, Spain onwards, it's almost like you were just riding on a different level, you know, with a different mindset the whole time. You know, this was your first podium here, but you didn't realize until you came over the line, did you? Because at one point you led this second race.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a good moment. Like, yeah, in Spain, I feel that I had the speed, and just yeah, I had 2 consistent starts, and just I could see that I could battle with the first few guys on the front. So I just managed to pass. The first race was not actually that good, but the second I passed everyone. I led the moto maybe 10 minutes, and I make one mistake. I stole the bike in the corner, so just regress to the second place, and finish third overall for my first podium. So it was really good, and yeah, like
British Grand Prix.
Yeah, British Grand Prix, first moto win, and yeah, just again start 5, 6 and pass everyone, led the moto for a few minutes and win the moto and third overall again. So you know, when you are on that result, it's everything. It's going, the confidence, everything. The home GP was amazing. Was the best GP in my life. I think to win at home, it's always special.
And this one is probably the hardest to win. You know, the home one, because of the expectation from the fans. But again, you just dealt with it, no problem, with a race win and a Grand Prix victory.
Yeah, the things, it was the week before I won the first moto in Matterly, so some people are waiting for me, but I think more of Gauthier Paulin, because he won actually many races in France, many GP, so I think everybody was expecting to win again, and myself also. So just I didn't put pressure on myself, and I show up. Yeah, I look also that I had the speed with the best guys, and I did the job, do good start, and one moto wins again, the second, and for the third GP victory.
We're almost running out of time, but there was a moment though that stood out for me, Maggiora, the crash. Everything could have gone wrong in that moment, but you survived the crash. You went on to win the Grand Prix.
There it is.
I mean, what were you thinking when you were flying through the air there? Were you thinking it's all over?
Yeah.
Look at the bike.
Yeah.
The bike almost.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's it's my mistake for sure. And when I went over, I say, yeah, if I can get out of injury of that one, it will be great. And I had nothing. I was really lucky on this one, and after I managed to, with the underbar bent and without front bike, I managed to come back, pass some guys, and win the GP again. So everybody is talking about that one. So
slight problems with the cornering technique there.
When I'm looking the image, it's unbelievable. So. But on the bike, when you was riding, it was not that bad. Just the front brake was the big problem with the downhill and everything. So it's a good memory.
Well, the shame as well is you look so good in the yellow, and then you kind of trash the bike and the bars. And
the yellow was really nice. I like when we had some changement like this, and when I knew that the bike will be with yellow, it was nice.
We've got a couple of questions from Twitter. From Gunnar Hoel, I hope I've pronounced that right. When did you start riding motocross bikes, and what did the supermoto riding mean for your progress in motocross?
Yeah, I started riding at 3 years old, the bike, and the race 6 years old. And for the supermoto skill, let's say, I think in the corner when it's pretty hard, the track, I can under the bike and try to drift much easier than the other maybe, but for the rest, from my side, I think I lose the time just because I lost so much physical condition, and on the motocross bike I was not that good when I came back. But the only things, it was the motivation was on the top. And that's the big point.
And another question here from Gabriele Gregorio. I already kind of know the answer to this because it was asked in the press conference when you were world champion, but do you think you would have won the title without the injuries to your rivals? Oh, and congratulations on the title, by the way, she says, or he says.
Yeah, it's difficult to say I don't know what to say. It's difficult. I think I show that I had the speed even with the best guys in the championship. When they was on the top of his form, I beat once every guy. So just we know, like I can say, we have all the same chance beginning of the season, and after we need to deal with all the parameters and everything, and the best is the champion.
I think it's also, Paul, important to say for everybody who's thinking, Romain Febvre, where did he come from? Your rise has been so fast. European champion, you had one learning year in Grand Prix. The next year you're already taking podiums. The year after that you changed the bike and won your first GP, and then now you're an MXGP and you're world champion. So it's gone like that, hasn't it?
Third overall last year as well.
Yeah, the progression, it's every year it's amazing. It's I make a big step every year, and I feel now that I'm not on 100%. I can do even better. So yeah, I will see next year. I think it's good for myself to feel that I'm not 100%. Then maybe I can improve again next year.
But going back to that question about riders being injured, you were second in the championship and you got injured yourself. So you know what it's like to be in that situation as well. Like you say, it can happen to anybody.
Yeah, like you say, it's the sport. It's like this. In 2013, for my second year in MX2, I was second in the championship. Went on 2 podium, the last 2 rounds, the last first round, and the first few.
Yes. First 2 GPs.
Yeah, and just after I become injured and missed 5 or 6 GP and finished 12. So it's like this, you know, can happen to everyone.
And can you please confirm in front of the camera that next year the number 1 of the 461s is going to be a little bit bigger?
Yeah, a little bit bigger, but I will not hold the number 1 for sure.
No. And final question, really. We did a feature with you last year before Finland, and we have some footage of you on your BMX. When you took over the lead in the championship, did you have to park the bike just for health reasons and safety reasons?
Yeah, just I like to ride BMX. I ride since I was 2 years old, and before when I was amateur, I think I ride more the BMX than the motocross. So I really like that sport. And during all the winter, I try to do it a little bit, but for sure during the season I stop because if I'm being injured on the BMX, it will be not good for him.
So looking forward to a long, hard winter of being back on the push bike then on the BMX.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, look, we are out of time with you, Romain Febvre, Monster Energy Yamaha Factory Racing Yamalube World Champion 2015 in MXGP. Right, competition time again, and as Romain takes himself up, let's see what you can win again this weekend. Thanks, Romain.
Thank you.
Right, once again, it's our Get Athena photo competition. And well, if you've been following us now all through the season, then you know that if you take a picture at the MXGP race showing the Get Athena logo, either or, upload the picture to our Facebook page, and the most voted pick will win a load of Ojo goodies and VIP passes to MXGP race of your choice, GoPro prizes and Ojo prizes as well. And also the mid-season sale is still on, where 50% discount still applies, and that includes Saturday's qualifying races at the Monster Energy Motocross of Nations as well in about 2 weeks' time. Right, Adam, just down to me and you now, I'm afraid. We're going to just whiz through this, a mini review of sorts in MXGP. Obviously, Romain Febvre now world champion, but at the start of the season, the much-hyped battle between Ryan Villopoto and Antonio Cairoli didn't quite pan out the way that we wanted, but we did get lots of great racing. We're still having lots of great racing as well, and some great talking points as well. Let's start with Ryan Villopoto. It was a short season, but it was an interesting first 3-4 rounds for him, wasn't it?
Yeah, what an example of how, you know, what this sport is about and how it can turn around so much, Paul. I mean, there's been criticism of Ryan since, you know, did he prepare fully? Did he come to Europe quick enough to get used to the type of tracks that you find in the World Championship? Maybe that is a valid point, and it's been made by riders with far more experience than, you know, even Ryan in Grand Prix. So, you know, this was a bit of a dubious start. I mean, was it an omen, you know, the stall? And then when he came to Thailand in this temperature and on that kind of very compact and very jumpy, you could say, circuit, you know, we saw a little bit of, like, you know, what we expected. I mean, I think he ran away to the qualification heat win by 30 seconds. It was absurd. But, you know, that victory came with a 1-3. He didn't seem that particularly, you know, enthusiastic about it. He was the first American to win an MXGP, you know, in the Premier class. But, you know, that was kind of like, you know, I remember Kawasaki staff rubbing their hands together thinking, right, here we go. You know, this is the start.
And obviously, this was, again, the crash. Seen it 1,000 times.
Yeah, 2 rounds later, we've been to Argentina. This was Italy, first Grand Prix in Europe.
And ironically, he was showing his best form. We knew he would have the speed and the fitness in the heat in Thailand. Wasn't on the pace as much as he would have liked in Argentina, but to come to Europe in a rocky place as Trentino, he was, I thought, adapting very, very quickly and I thought that was the best I'd seen him ride up until that point, and ironically he went out.
Yeah, and Trentino was a baptism of fire. It was a very kind of idiosyncratic, like Italian circuit, wasn't it? Very sort of rough, choppy, and slick and stony. So, you know, like you said, I thought you were showing good speed and promise there. If he had finished on the podium or thereabouts, it would have set him up for a good run in Europe. But, yeah, it just didn't work out that way. And I think we expected to see him back.
Yeah.
The injury was maybe, as has been stated, more complicated than, you know, they originally thought. But, yeah, I think it's the biggest shame is we didn't see him back doing a Grand Prix race, you know, before he retired.
Well, you mentioned the circuit being Italian in its style, but Tony Cairoli also had his problems and still suffering, although back on a bike, we believe. What about his season?
Well, you know, he changed to the 450 after winning the World Championship, you know, 6 years in a row with a 350. Many people wondering whether that was the best move. I mean, Tony obviously felt he needed, you know, the extra power. Here's the first victory in Spain, and, you know, it proved to pay off. It was like, you know, an inspired move, you could say. But, you know, that from that first win in Spain, I think he won 3 Grand Prix this year. I can't remember the statistics, but, you know, you kind of thought, well, all right, here's a guy who hasn't held the red plate yet, which is somewhat unusual for the reigning world champion. But then he moved up a level.
Changed everything that day. Red kit, white boots, no flow glow.
Yeah. And then this was coming to Majora home Grand Prix. You know,
First lap of qualifying.
Yeah, no more pressure than usual.
And then that was that.
He said it was his mistake. But, you know, just that fractured arm, trip to the medical centre, and, you know, that's the first significant injury. I mean, he's had tweaks here or there to his knee and to his ankle in recent years, but that was the first time we've seen Tony Cairoli really in the medical centre struggling since 2008. You know, and I think that shows the skill of the man, his consistency, his ability to stay clear of injury, but this time it bit him, and he needed time away. I mean, full credit for trying to race through that and get points and stay in the championship chase, which he did for another 3 rounds.
Yeah.
But and eventually, you know, it was the correct move to try and get it fixed.
And what about Max Nagel? Obviously, he arrived very much under the radar, didn't he? New team, Red Bull Iceman, Husqvarna Factory Racing, 1-1 at Qatar, the opening round, left there with the red plate. Dream start for him, but again, another rider who, after a few rounds, suffered, just like Ryan, just like Tony.
I'm also wondering how much the pressure of leading the championship got to Max. You know, you're talking about a professional there with a lot of experience in the Premier class, a lot of problems as well. I think holding that red plate and being up there in the lead maybe was a little heavier on his shoulders compared to Romain Febvre. You know, getting around like the Italian Grand Prix in that time where he had been off the podium for a couple of races. Was there extra desperation at his home Grand Prix in Tucson? I'm not sure. That was where he picked up the injury, but
you know what? We'll see that in a moment, because I mean, this was his final Grand Prix win, wasn't it, in Trentino, where again, riding very, very well.
Yeah.
But just 9 times out of 10, he would pick himself up from this. But we'll see him spin out, gets hit by another rider, and Philip Arts hits him as well. And that was it. This is the Philip Arts angle. So Nagel already down, and then couldn't avoid him and just ran straight over him, and that was Nagel out of the championship. Worst place of all, at home in Germany. Thousands, tens of thousands of fans came out to support him, and little did we know at that moment in time that his season was done and dusted.
Yeah, and he tried to come back twice after that to ride in Sweden as well, but because of the break again, the doctor said no, the bone's not fully healed, and that was the championship dream over. But we've seen that with Max maybe on at least 2 other occasions in previous years, and it was heartbreaking, to be honest.
And what about Clément de Sal? He's the only other guy other than Romain Febvre who's held the championship leader's red plate this year. Again, consistent, wasn't he? Took the championship lead in Thailand. He managed to hold on to it here. Took a race win here in Argentina. But again, just as it has been for the past, 2, 3, 4 seasons for the Rockstar Energy Suzuki World MXGP rider. Just when things are on the rise, you know, a slight mistake, and not really his fault, was it, in France when he went out and picked up the knee injury and the shoulder injury?
I mean, such a good rider and such consistency as well. You know, you're talking about somebody who's won Grand Prix for the last 5 years. Here's the accident, I think, Paul.
Yeah, well, a little bit of it. I think we just see the aftermath.
Yeah, that was the shoulder and the knee. You know, he barely walked away from that Grand Prix, and then that was. But, you know, I think there was a big problem from the first free practice when he originally popped his shoulder out. and he's been susceptible to that injury, you know, even back from 2010 when he dislocated it in the Valkenswaard in Holland. And I think, you know, that ruined him a little bit, because he had such good consistency. It was like 6 podium finishes from 7 or 5 from 6 from the first section of the season. And, you know, it wasn't a dream start because he didn't win. And I think it's the first year, apart from Glenn Koldenoff saving Suzuki's graces, where, you know, that brand, you know, were close to not having a first Grand Prix win. So a real shame for Clement, but you know, he's going to come back next year, maybe in different colours.
And finally, what about Gauthier Paulin? HRC, a lot on the line. He's not coming cheap, has he? 2-year deal, but so far just the 1 GP win, 2 race wins for all his hard-earned efforts. This double moto win in Holland, and from there we thought, right, finally, he's on his way.
But also, make no mistake, this was dominance. You know, I mean, this was one of the very few performances this year where nobody could touch him. He was away with a 1-1, and we thought, again, like Ryan Villopoto, you know, what's Gauthier Paulin going to kick on from here? Yeah, you like you say, it's been a high-profile deal with Honda. I mean, you could say, has it been disappointing? On the other side, you could say, you know, he's needed a year to acclimatise to the way the team work. You know, a lot of staff, a lot of resources. You know, this was a big moment in the season. 25 points gone here. And
I think because that was at France, home GP, if he would have won that first race, could have gone on and won the home Grand Prix. And again, that might have been another stepping stone to a completely different season.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Romain Febvre wrapped up the title with 2 rounds to go, Paul. So there have been moments like that. Gauthier Paulin has also made, you know, little mistakes. It's not always been down to any kind of technical issues. But you know, this race in Germany was, you know, a little bit of the rider we've seen for the last 3 seasons on the 450.
Yeah, but obviously, title's already done. We already spoke to our new world champion, Romain Febvre. 2 rounds to go. That battle for second place is still up for grabs. Gauthier Paulin, and his teammate, Evgeny Bobryshev. Which way can you see that one going?
Difficult because Gauthier Paulin won here last year, so you know he should be strong at this circuit in Mexico. And then Glen Helen as well, a track he really likes. Evgeny Bobryshev struggles a little bit in the heat by his own admission, so my money's on the Frenchman there. But you've also got to look a little bit further down the standings. You've got Sean Simpson in 4th, which is a career best championship place for him, top KTM rider, getting factory support next year. And in 5th place we've got Tony Cairoli?
Just behind,
So then I think Max Nagel's chasing him next. So there's stuff on the line for Simpson as well in 4th.
All right, Adam Wheeler on trackoffroad.com. Thanks for joining us as always, and also to Romain Febvre, the new world champion in MXGP, and of course Harry Kullas. Well, that is it. We are out of time here. In MX2, all eyes will be on Tim Geiser and Pauls Jonas, and if it rains, well, it could be a very, very interesting Grand Prix indeed, and there is a lot of rain forecast for Sunday. Make sure you tune in on MXGP TV on Sunday to see how these guys get on. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the USA in a week's time. Bye for now.